They think they're safe. Right now, right at this very moment, while you're listening to this, the people who spoke poison about you, behind closed doors, are sleeping peacefully. They're laughing at brunch. They're posting inspirational quotes about loyalty and authenticity. They're looking in the mirror and seeing a good person staring back. They have no idea what's coming. See, they performed a perfect crime. At least that's what they believe. They waited until you left the room. They checked over their shoulders. They lowered their voices just enough. They chose their audience carefully. People they trusted to keep the secret, people who nodded along, people who added their own venom to the pile. And when it was done, when they'd finished dissecting your character, mocking your dreams, twisting your intentions into something unrecognizable, they wiped their mouths, changed the subject, and walked back into your life like nothing happened, smiled in your face, hugged you, told you they loved you, asked how you were doing with those eyes that knew exactly what they'd said about you 48 hours ago. And you felt it, didn't you? Something was off. Something in the air shifted. The hug was slightly shorter. The eye contact was slightly forced. The energy was different, but you couldn't prove it. You couldn't point to anything concrete. So you did what good people do. You blamed yourself. You told yourself you were being paranoid. You swallowed your intuition like a bitter pill and kept showing up for people who had already decided you weren't worth showing up for. They saw you do that. They watched you doubt yourself. And somewhere deep in their chest, they felt relief. They got away with it. You had no idea. The crime was complete, and they were walking free. But here's what they didn't know. Here's what they couldn't possibly have calculated. Someone was listening, not metaphorically, not spiritually, literally. Someone was in that room, in that conversation, in that car, at that dinner table, in that group chat screenshot distance away, and they heard everything. Every word, every laugh, every exaggeration, every lie dressed up as concern, every knife disguised as a joke. And this someone, this stranger to you but familiar face to them, they didn't say a word. They didn't defend you. They didn't interrupt. They just listened, watched, observed the performance with a face that gave nothing away. The betrayers felt comfortable because this person nodded along, maybe even added a small comment to blend in. The perfect camouflage, the perfect spy in plain sight. But something was happening beneath the surface that none of them could see. This stranger was taking notes, mental notes, timestamps, direct quotes, names of everyone who participated, the exact moment someone laughed a little too hard at your expense, the specific phrase someone used that revealed they never respected you to begin with. All of it. Cataloged, stored, waiting. The betrayers went home that night feeling lighter. They'd released their jealousy, their insecurity, their resentment into the air, and it felt good. Talking about you made them feel powerful for a moment. United in their small-minded mission, bonded over a common target. They had no idea they'd just handed a stranger the ammunition to destroy everything they'd built. Weeks passed, maybe months. Life went on. They kept smiling at you, kept pretending, kept performing the role of friend, family, colleague, whatever mask they wore around you. And every time they saw you, a tiny part of them felt superior. They knew something you didn't. They had a secret. And secrets, to small people, feel like power. But the stranger was watching that too. watching them hug you, knowing what they'd said, watching them ask about your life with fake interest, watching them perform loyalty while carrying betrayal in their back pocket like a dirty receipt they hoped would never surface. The stranger started to feel something. Maybe it was disgust. Maybe it was recognition. They'd been you once, the target of whispers, the subject of rooms that went quiet when they entered. Maybe it was justice calling from somewhere deep in their conscience. Whatever it was, it grew, it festered, it became a weight they couldn't carry anymore. And so they made a decision that's about to change everything. They're coming for you, not to hurt you, not to add more pain to your plate. They're coming to hand you something precious, something rare, something most people never get in this lifetime. The truth, word for word. What they said, who said it, when they said it, how they laughed, what names they called you when you weren't there to defend yourself, the jokes at your expense, the theories about your life they invented from thin air, the predictions about your failure they toasted to. All of it written down, recorded, documented, ready to be placed in your hands like a scroll of divine justice. Now let's pause here. Let's talk about what's happening on their end right now, while this stranger is preparing to meet you. They woke up this morning with no idea. Today was different. They brushed their teeth, checked their phone, scrolled through social media, maybe even saw your post and rolled their eyes before double tapping it anyway, because appearances matter to people like them. They went about their day completely unaware that the foundation beneath them is about to crack, that every lie is about to be exposed, that every mask is about to be ripped off in a way they cannot spin, cannot deny, cannot gaslight their way out of. Because here's the thing about spoken words, they don't just disappear. They think conversations evaporate into the air. They think what's said in private stays private. They think whispers don't carry. But words have weight. Words have witnesses. Words have a way of finding their way back to the person they were meant to wound. And this stranger, this unexpected angel of truth, they're about to prove that. Imagine their face when they find out. Picture it. Really let yourself see it. The blood draining, the stammering beginning, the excuses forming and falling apart before they can even leave the mouth. The frantic mental math trying to calculate who could have told you, who was in the room, who broke the code. Because there's always a code with people like this. An unspoken agreement that what's said behind someone's back stays behind someone's back. A loyalty among cowards. A pact among the small. But someone broke it. Someone decided you deserved to know. Someone looked at the situation and thought, this person has been walking around blind while these people sharpen knives behind their back. This person deserves the truth, even if it burns. And so they're coming. Maybe you've already felt it. Maybe you've noticed strange synchronicities this week. A name popping up you haven't thought about in months. A dream about betrayal that felt too real. An unexplainable urge to distance yourself from certain people without knowing why. That's your intuition, preparing you. That's the universe, giving you a heads up. That's the signal that something is about to be revealed that will change how you see everything and everyone. Now let's flip this. Let's talk about what this means for you. When this stranger hands you this proof, you're going to feel something complicated. Validation first. That gut feeling you had was right. You weren't crazy. You weren't paranoid. You weren't being too sensitive. They really were saying those things. They really were laughing at you. They really were pretending. Then the hurt will come. Not new hurt. Old hurt, given a name. The wound that was always there but never had evidence. Now you'll see it clearly. Now you'll know exactly where it came from, who inflicted it, and how deep it really went. But here's what comes after that. Power. Power. Unshakable. Undeniable power. Because now you know. And knowing is everything. They operated under the assumption that you'd never find out. Every smile they gave you was built on that assumption. Every fake conversation was built on that assumption. Their entire relationship with you was built on the belief that you'd remain blind forever. That foundation just crumbled, and they don't even know it yet. See, you're going to have a choice to make when this proof lands in your hands. You can confront them, you can expose them, you can watch them scramble for explanations like rats caught in light. Or you can do something far more devastating. You can say nothing. You can take that proof, fold it neatly, place it in your mental archive, and simply change how you move. You can start pulling back with no explanation. Start being unavailable with no reason given. Start treating them exactly how they've been treating you, with the same fakeness, the same distance, the same nothing behind the eyes. And they'll feel it. They won't know why, but they'll feel the shift. They'll notice you don't call anymore. They'll notice you don't share anymore. They'll notice your energy has walls now, where doors used to be. And they'll start to wonder, did they find out? No. Impossible. How could they? Who would have told them? Everyone in that room was trustworthy. Everyone agreed to keep it quiet. But the wondering will eat at them. The uncertainty will poison their peace. Every interaction with you will become a paranoid analysis. They'll search your eyes for clues. They'll overanalyze your texts. They'll replay conversations looking for signs that you know what they did. And you'll give them nothing. No confirmation. No confrontation. Just the slow, painful withdrawal of someone who finally sees them clearly. That's worse than a fight. That's worse than a screaming match. That's worse than any revenge you could plot. Because you're not punishing them. You're just done. And done is permanent. Let's go back to the stranger for a moment. You might be wondering why. Why would someone risk relationships? Risk being called a snitch? Risk the social fallout of breaking the code? Because some people still have honor. Because some people recognize that fake loyalty is worse than open war. Because some people looked at you, looked at what you've been through, looked at how hard you've tried to be good to everyone, and decided you didn't deserve to be played like this. This stranger saw something in you worth protecting. Maybe they saw themselves. Maybe they saw someone they loved, who was treated the same way once. Maybe they just couldn't stomach watching the charade continue for one more day. Whatever their reason, they chose you. Out of everyone they could have stayed silent for, they chose to speak up for you. That means something. That means even in a world full of betrayal, there are still people who choose truth. That means you're not as alone as they made you feel. That means the universe has allies in places you never expected. Now let's talk about the aftermath. When this proof comes out, and it will, some people are going to try to spin it. They'll say the stranger misunderstood. They'll say it was taken out of context. They'll say they were just venting. They didn't mean it. But you'll have the words, word for word. And there's no context that makes cruelty acceptable. There's no spin that erases what was said. There's no explanation that undoes the intention behind those conversations. They meant what they said. They just didn't mean for you to find out. And now you have. Some of them will try to apologize. They'll suddenly become emotional. They'll cry. They'll beg. They'll pull out every manipulation tactic they've ever learned to make you feel sorry for them instead of angry at them. Don't fall for it. The tears they're crying aren't for hurting you. They're for getting caught. The apologies they're offering aren't for what they said. They're for the consequences they're facing. The remorse they're performing isn't real. It's survival instinct dressed up as accountability. Real remorse doesn't need to be caught first. Real accountability doesn't wait until there's evidence. Real friendship doesn't say one thing to your face and another behind your back. What they're showing you now is just another performance. The same acting skills that let them hug you after trashing you are now being used to seem sorry. But you know better now. You see them clearly. And clear vision can't be unlearned. Here's what I want you to understand as we close this. This stranger showing up isn't random. This proof arriving isn't coincidence. This moment isn't just about catching people in their lies. It's about liberation. Your liberation. You've been carrying weight that didn't belong to you. Doubt, confusion, that gnawing feeling that something was wrong but not being able to name it. You've been giving energy to people who were taking it and laughing about it behind closed doors. That's over now. The truth is coming. And with it comes freedom. Freedom from fake relationships. Freedom from pretending everything is fine. Freedom from performing gratitude toward people who never deserved it. Freedom from carrying the burden of their approval. When this stranger hands you that proof, you're not just receiving information, you're receiving permission to let go. Permission to trust yourself again. Permission to stop doubting your gut. Permission to finally see what was always there. And as for them, the ones who thought they got away with it, the ones sleeping peacefully right now with no idea what's coming, let them have these last moments of false security. Let them enjoy the illusion while it lasts. Because the stranger is already on their way. The proof is already compiled. The truth is already in motion. And by the time they realize what's happening, it will be far too late to undo what they've done. You didn't have to fight for this. You didn't have to investigate. Well, you didn't have to beg the universe for justice. You just had to keep being yourself. Keep surviving. Keep moving forward. And somehow, that was enough to make someone decide you deserved the truth. So when it comes, and it's coming soon, receive it with dignity. Don't crumble. Don't rage. Don't give them the satisfaction of watching you fall apart. Just take it, read it, know it, and let your silence do what their words never could. Destroy them. Not with revenge, not with confrontation, with the quiet, permanent withdrawal of someone who finally sees clearly they thought they were safe. They were wrong. They were wrong. And that, my friend, is the most beautiful kind of justice.
You know what's worse than an enemy? A friend who stabs you in the back while looking you dead in the eyes with a smile? Yeah, that kind of betrayal, the kind that doesn't come with warning signs, the kind that shows up dressed in loyalty, wrapped in sweet words, disguised as love. They hugged you while plotting against you. They said, "I got you," while digging your grave. They smiled. Oh, they smiled so beautifully while tearing your world apart piece by piece. And you trusted them. You opened doors for people who were already planning their exit. You gave your heart to hands that were never clean to begin with. You thought they were real. You thought they meant it when they said forever, when they said, "I'm here for you," when they looked at you like you mattered. But it was all a performance, a well-rehearsed act, and you were the only one who didn't know the script. But here's the thing, God saw it. Every single moment, every fake laugh, every hollow promise, every time they pretended to care while secretly hoping you'd fall, God was watching. He saw the masks, he saw the lies, he saw the way they celebrated your struggles in private while pretending to pray for you in public. And let me tell you something that's going to shake you to your core. God is about to expose every single one of them. See, you've been wondering why it hurts so much, why the betrayal cuts so deep. It's because you didn't see it coming. You were blindsided by people you would have taken bullets for, people you defended when the world talked bad about them, people you chose over yourself time and time again. And what did they give you in return? Lies. Manipulation, a knife so deep in your back you're still trying to pull it out. But God doesn't forget. He doesn't overlook. He doesn't let things slide just because time passes. No, he waits. He watches. He gathers evidence like a patient judge building the case of a lifetime. And when the time is right, when you least expect it, he moves. Not with noise, not with drama, but with exposure so precise, so undeniable, that the whole world will see what was hidden in the dark. You ever notice how liars always get comfortable? They start believing their own lies. They walk around like they got away with it, like their betrayal was buried so deep no one would ever dig it up. They smile at you in public, act like nothing happened, pretend the past is the past. But what they don't realize is that God has a way of bringing receipts. And those receipts, they don't expire. Let me tell you something about divine exposure. It doesn't just reveal what they did, it reveals who they are. It strips away the masks they've been wearing for years. It shows the world the real face behind the fake smiles. And when that happens, oh man, when that happens, they won't be able to hide anymore. They won't be able to spin the narrative. They won't be able to play the victim like they always do. Because God's exposure doesn't come with loopholes. It comes with truth. Raw, brutal, undeniable truth. You've been carrying this weight, haven't you? The weight of knowing what they did, but not being able to prove it. The weight of watching them live their lives like they didn't destroy yours. The weight of biting your tongue when you wanted to scream the truth from the rooftops. But here's what you need to understand. Your silence wasn't weakness, it was strategy. God was telling you to wait, to trust, to let him handle it in his own time. And his time, it's coming faster than you think, closer than you realize. The same people who whispered behind your back are about to have their secrets shouted from the rooftops. The same people who smiled while betraying you are about to choke on their own deception. The same people who thought they got away with it are about to learn that God's justice doesn't run on their schedule. It runs on his. You see, betrayal has a funny way of coming back around. Not because you wished it on them, not because you cursed them, but because the universe has a balance. What goes around comes around. And when you've been genuinely good to people who were genuinely evil to you, that imbalance has to correct itself. It's not revenge. change. It's restoration. It's God saying, I saw what they did, and now it's time for them to reap what they sowed. Think about it. They thought they were so smart. They thought they could fool everyone. They thought their lies were airtight, their manipulations undetectable. But they forgot one thing. They forgot that God sees in the dark. He hears the whispers. He knows the intentions behind the actions. He knows why they really did what they did. And he's about to make it known to everyone who ever believed their lies. I know you're tired. I know you've been fighting battles no one knows about. I know there were nights you cried yourself to sleep, wondering why you weren't enough for people you would have given everything to. But let me tell you something. You were always enough. You were more than enough. They just weren't capable of handling someone real, someone loyal, someone who actually meant what they said. Your authenticity was a mirror that reflected their fakeness, and they hated you for it. But don't you dare feel sorry for them. Don't you dare water down what they did just because you have a good heart. A good heart doesn't mean a stupid mind. You can forgive and still demand justice. You can let go and still expect consequences. You can move on and still watch God work. Because forgiveness doesn't mean you forget what happened. It means you free yourself from the poison of bitterness while God handles the rest. And oh, he's handling it right now. As you're listening to this, as you're sitting there wondering if things will ever change, God is moving pieces on a chessboard you can't even see. He's setting up scenarios. He's opening mouths that were supposed to stay closed. He's bringing light to places they thought would stay dark forever. The exposure is coming. Not might come. Not hopefully will come. It's coming. Period. You want to know the best part? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to plot. You don't have to scheme. You don't have to stoop to their level. All you have to do is keep living, keep growing, keep glowing, keep becoming the person they try to stop you from being, because your success is the spotlight that will expose their failure. Your peace is the mirror that will reflect their chaos. Your joy is the evidence that their betrayal didn't win. They wanted you broken. They wanted you bitter. They wanted you stuck in the past, replaying their lies, drowning in their manipulation. But look at you, still standing, still breathing, still fighting. That alone is proof that their plan failed. That alone is testimony that God protected you even when you didn't know you needed protection. They threw everything they had at you, and you're still here. That's not luck. That's divine intervention. Now let me tell you what's about to happen. The same people who doubted you are about to watch you rise. The same people who talked behind your back are about to hear your name in rooms they can't enter. The same people who betrayed you are about to see God bless you in ways that make their betrayal look pathetic, and they won't be able to say a word. Because how do you hate on someone who's clearly favored? How do you discredit someone whose life is living proof that God is real? You see, exposure isn't just about them getting caught. It's about you getting vindicated. It's about the world seeing what you always knew. It's about your name being cleared without you having to clear it yourself. It's about God standing up for you in ways you couldn't stand up for yourself. And when that happens, you won't have to say, I told you so. Your life will say it for you. But here's the warning. When the exposure comes, and it will come, don't gloat. Don't celebrate their downfall with arrogance. Don't become the thing you hated in them. Watch it happen. Acknowledge it. Thank God for it. But don't let it change who you are. because the same humility that kept you grounded during the storm is the same humility that will keep you elevated during the sunshine. Pride comes before the fall, and you didn't survive their betrayal just to fall into your own. I know there's a part of you that still hurts. A part that remembers every lie, every fake smile, every moment you realized the person you trusted was never who they pretended to be. That pain is valid. That pain is real. But that pain is also temporary. It's not your permanent address. It's just a stop on the way to something greater, something better, something they can never touch because they disqualified themselves from your future the moment they betrayed your past. And that future, it's brighter than you can imagine. It's bigger than you've been praying for. It's filled with people who actually deserve you, people who won't make you question your worth, people who will love you without conditions, without manipulation, without hidden agendas. God is clearing the table so he can set a new one. And the seats, they're reserved for people who proved their loyalty when you had nothing to offer but yourself. So let them smile, let them pretend, let them walk around like they got away with it, because every smile is being recorded, every lie is being documented, every betrayal is being noted in a book they don't even know exists. And when God opens that book, when he reads the charges out loud, when he exposes every secret thing done in darkness, they'll realize that the smile they use to deceive you will be the same smile that haunts them for the rest of their lives. You didn't deserve what they did to you. Let that sink in. You didn't deserve the lies. You didn't deserve the manipulation. You didn't deserve to be treated like an option by people you treated like a priority. But here's the beautiful truth. What you didn't deserve in pain, you're about to receive in blessings. God is a God of balance, and he's about to balance the scales in your favor so dramatically that even your enemies will have to admit that he's real. So hold on, not to them, not to the pain, not to the betrayal. Hold on to faith. Hold on to the promise that God sees everything. Hold on to the truth that exposure is coming. Hold on to the fact that your story isn't over. In fact, the best chapters are still being written. And those chapters, they don't include the people who betrayed you. They include the lessons they taught you. They include the strength they forced you to find. They include the God who never left your side even when everyone else did. The smiles are fading. The masks are cracking. The truth is rising, and soon, very soon, everyone who smiled while betraying you will be exposed for exactly who they are. Not by your hand, not by your words, but by a God who loves you too much to let their deception go unpunished. A God who watched every tear you cried. A God who heard every prayer you whispered. A God who's about to show the world why you were never the problem. They were. And now, they're about to find out what happens when you betray someone who belongs to God. They're about to learn that you can't smile your way out of divine justice. They're about to realize that the same God they thought wasn't watching was building a case against them the entire time. And when that case is presented, when the evidence is laid out, when the truth is revealed, there will be no defense, no excuse, no escape, just exposure, raw, complete, devastating exposure. And you'll be standing there, not with revenge in your heart, but with peace in your soul. Watching God do what only God can do. Watching justice unfold without lifting a finger. Watching the people who hurt you face the consequences they never thought would come. Because God is about to expose everyone who smiled while betraying you. And there's nothing they can do to stop it. Nothing. So, sit back, stay faithful, Keep growing, keep glowing, keep becoming everything they said you couldn't be, because the exposure is coming, the vindication is coming, the breakthrough is coming. And when it arrives, you'll finally understand why you had to go through what you went through, why God allowed the pain, why He let them get close enough to hurt you. It was all part of the plan. A plan to expose the fake, a plan to reveal the real, a plan to show you who was with you and who was just using you. Trust the process, trust the timing, trust the God who never forgot what they did, because He's about to remind them, and the whole world is about to watch. You know what's funny? They probably think you forgot. They probably think enough time has passed that the slate is clean. They probably look at you and think, oh, good, they moved on. They're not a threat anymore. But what they don't understand is that your silence was never surrender. Your peace was never permission. Your moving on was never forgetting. You just stopped wasting energy on people who weren't worth the breath it takes to speak their names. But God didn't move on. God didn't forget. God doesn't operate on human timelines. He's not bound by your calendar or their comfort. He moves when He's ready. And when He moves, it's not subtle. It's not quiet. It's not something you can miss. When God exposes betrayal, the whole room feels it. The whole city hears about it. The whole world takes notice. And here's what's going to happen when they're exposed. They're going to try to explain. They're going to come up with stories, excuses, justifications. They're going to play the victim like they always do. They're going to say you misunderstood, that it wasn't what it looked like, that they never meant to hurt you. But explanations don't work when the evidence is undeniable. Excuses don't hold up when God Himself is the prosecutor. The truth has a way of silencing lies, and the truth about what they did, it's about to echo so loud that their excuses will sound like whispers in a hurricane. No one will believe them. No one will defend them. No one will stand with them. Because when God exposes someone, He doesn't leave room for doubt. He doesn't leave space for debate. He lays it all out. Every text, every conversation, every secret meeting, every plan they made in the shadows, all of it brought into the light. And you want to know the scariest part for them? They can't prepare for it. They don't know when it's coming. They don't know how it's coming. They just know somewhere deep in their gut that something is off, that the lies they told are starting to unravel, that the people they manipulated are starting to wake up, that the web they weaved is starting to tear at the seams. That feeling they have, that unease they can't explain, that's God. That's Him warming up. That's Him getting ready to do what He does best. Bring light to darkness. Bring truth to lies. Bring justice to betrayal. So when you see them looking nervous, when you notice them checking over their shoulder, when you catch them being extra nice for no reason, know that they feel it coming. They don't know what it is, but they feel it. And that fear, that paranoia, that's just the appetizer. The main course is the exposure that's about to rock their entire world. You've waited long enough. You've been patient enough. You've prayed enough. Now it's time to watch God work. Not with anxiety, not with revenge, but with faith. Faith that the same God who saw you through the storm is the same God who's about to clear the skies. Faith that the betrayal wasn't the end of your story. It was just the plot twist that made your victory even sweeter. Because when you rise after being betrayed, you don't just rise, you soar. You fly higher than you ever could have with dead weight attached to you. Those betrayers, they were anchors pretending to be wings, and God cut them loose so you could finally reach the heights you were destined for. So thank them, not for the pain, but for the push. Thank them for showing you who they really were. Thank them for removing themselves from your future. Thank them for giving God a reason to bless you even more, because every attack on your life is just another testimony waiting to be told. And your testimony, it's about to go viral. God is about to expose everyone who smiled while betraying you. And your job, just watch, just wait, just worship, because the God who sees all is about to reveal all, and nothing will ever be the same.